He's putting his dock in?
His new dog.
Yeah, the aluminum one I helped pick up.
He
You
just
bought
bought
another
two
one?
more.
Was you going out to the middle of the lake?
No, get rid of the wooden one, okay. I hereby open this meeting of the Tyngsborough Conservation Commission under the State Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, C-131, S-40, in accordance with the Town of Tyngsborough Wetland Protection Bylaw on this day, May 13th, 2025. First item on the agenda, 137 Pawtucket Boulevard, map 27 and 28, parcel 57-0 and 113-0, DEP number 309-1028. Mark Furman, applicant for notice of intent and minor stormwater management permit to raise the existing structure and build a new single-family dwelling within the associated grading and utilities within the 100-foot buffer zone to bank, bordering land subject to flooding or the 100-year floodplain, land under water bodies and waterways in the 200-foot riverfront of the Merrimack River, continued from April 22nd, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Maureen just asked to do another continuance to, speak with her client about what to do.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to continue this hearing until June 10th?
Yep.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Continued to June 10th.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda, 222 Massapog Road, map 2, parcel 32A-0, DEP number 1029, Costas Malapanis, applicant for after-the-fact notice of intent for the construction of a granite block wall, removal of 300 square feet of beach sand, and the installation of sod work within the Bank of Lake Massapog and within a 100-foot buffer zone, bordering land subject to flooding, 100-year floodplain, and the 200-foot riverfront area of an unnamed perennial stream, continued from April 22nd, 2025. So it's 1 month time for that.
I think last meeting you guys continued it for the month, so you guys are all set.
The rest are all set.
Is that
All
correct?
set.
Right, Pam?
Okay,
So when, this one's gonna come up 2
2 more weeks.
Yeah.
June 10th?
No, May
27th.
May 27th.
May 27th.
Yep. Okay, commission determination, 9 Farrell Road, map 20, parcel 56A-0, removal of fallen trees and debris from stream.
It's him, he's up.
Denied.
My name's Bruce Schofield, 15 Flower Road. I also own 9 Flower Road. So I've had 2 weeping willows drop down, and both of them are now blocking the brook and making the brook take new paths around. So I need to be able to cut that up, get it out of the brookway, and also there's been other trees falling down over, we have like a waterfall down there, so I need to clean up the other dead trees that have fallen down over the last couple of years, and I need to clean it up and get it brook running properly again.
We have some photos.
So I think that's looking down the waterfall, and there's trees and limbs that have fallen across over the last couple of years. And this is the brook that's being blocked by one of the weeping willow limbs. The same here, just looking at a different, one of the weeping willows had actually bridged across the brook, but now has fallen in as it rotted over the time. Again, that's just detouring the brook altogether. It's not even passing there. It's going all the way around. And that's where it fell from. There's still a remnant of another tree there. The rest of the tree is still standing, but that's probably about 5 or 6 feet in diameter.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean,
No, no,
I
no.
already cleaned 200 feet,
Yeah.
280 feet of one stream and 100 of another along my
So,
property.
Bruce, the tree that's in the brook now, what about the root system? Is that in the brook too?
No, the part of the tree is still standing. It used to be a giant Y, and so the one half fell into the brook and the other one's still standing. I don't know how long it's gonna keep standing, but when it goes, it's not going near the brook. It'll fall
Okay.
perpendicular to the brook.
The willows haven't started rooting yet, have they?
Excuse me?
The willows haven't started rooting yet, have they?
The new one, the trees that fell?
Yeah,
No, I've
Will
checked.
they do that?
yes,
Ed?
they will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they get
Willows will
water.
root. You can cut a willow branch and stick it in the ground, it will root, if it's wet.
Oh,
Willows love water,
no, no, I have a problem with it.
yeah, so that's why I don't have a
So-
problem, because the willows will plug that whole stream right up.
He's getting the stream water from the other side of the street too, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is even more, it comes from the back of the station, the bank.
Yeah.
In the,
Yeah.
from Flint Pond.
That's, yeah, it's a runoff from Flint's then,
Yeah.
okay.
well, it's
You know
not a,
that
dir-
we
it's not a
would-
direct, it
It
merges with Flint down the
Yeah,
bottom of the
merges
hill,
down, Yeah,
Yeah.
just before it goes into the Merrimack.
yeah.
I also have some bittersweet on the trees. I don't know if I can include that in
Yeah,
the,
cut it,
Absolutely.
cut it and
Yeah.
brush it with herbicide.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done it for a couple of years, but I've done it semi-regularly anyway, but
Yep.
it needs another cutting.
Yeah, that's what we keep talking about, all these projects, and nobody's cutting the bittersweet down, but we're losing trees every year.
Yep.
And nobody wants to maintain it.
So, can I get a motion?
Yeah, I think it's great for the health of the stream to get this debris out of there. Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to, for a negative determination on 9 Fairwell Road to remove fallen trees and debris from the stream.
And
Second.
invasives. And invasives.
And, yep, the cutting of bittersweet and other invasives that may exist there.
Second on that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.
Thank you.
285 Dunstable Road, map 22, parcel 2-0, remove of 2 underground storage tanks to be replaced with AST.
So when you look at this, it's technically completely out of the 100-foot buffer zone, but, so this is the work at the Public Services.
Yep.
So they needed to replace the tanks. It is out of the 100-foot buffer zone. But when they came to me, they wanted to make sure the commission saw it. So knowing that it's out of the 100-foot buffer zone, I did already go ahead and approve it so they could start the work this week. But I wanted to bring it forward to you guys so you guys were aware of it and that you could just ratify my approval. But yeah, they're just replacing the tanks. And that's pretty much about it.
Plus, if we get phone calls, we know that it's going on, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's why they wanted to come before you guys and do it the right way. Just, they understand that it really doesn't need a permit, but.
Right. I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to make negative determination on 385 Dunstable Road, map 22, parcel 2-0.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay, certificate of compliance. 2 Geraldine Place, request for certificate of compliance, DEP number 3091005, order condition issued 4/12/2023.
So if you guys remember that, this was an after-the-fact filing, there was an existing wall, and it was made out of granite blocks that she's had on the property for a handful of years. But due to the increased wake activity on the lake, it started shifting, so she had a company come in and just put the blocks. So we had her file the after-the-fact and everything. But I went out today and took some pictures of what it looks like now, to have her close it up and get the COC. So this is what it looks like now. The stream's running fine. Everything looks like it's in place. It hasn't really shifted much. All the vegetation in the back is still really growing well, and all the trees seem very healthy, so, yeah, that was about it. So it hasn't changed, thankfully.
If you guys remember, that's when we all walked down the hill and looked at the dead-end street off Massapog.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember.
no.
All right, can we get it?
Mr. Chairman, I can make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 2 Geraldine Place, map 2, parcel 46-0.
Do I have a second?
No second on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Next item on the agenda, certificate of compliance. Scribner Road, culvert, town right of way, near 151 Scribner Road, certificate of compliance for DEP number 3091022, order of conditions issued 9/5/2024.
So again, I went out recently, so I went out when they completed the project, and then I just went out recently this past week. So up on the screen is what the site looks like currently. The only change that Jake told me is that instead of putting a 24-inch pipe, they did 2 12-inch because of the gas main that runs up Scribner. Other than that, the water is flowing fine, all the vegetation's growing back, all the wetland plants seem to adjust just fine. So it looks good. And it's nice,
Yeah,
good
it is.
flow compared to what it
It used to be.
had been.
It just barely trickled onto there.
Yeah, but no, it's looking good, so,
What was it, a small drain in there?
Small one, it was plugged up, collapsed.
yeah, I think it was
Small
like
one.
only an 8-inch corrugated pipe, and they put it in when they did the road
Yeah.
years ago.
It's right when you first come down Chestnut and take your left, it's right there.
Yeah. It seems like we're having all the problems with all the old corrugated pipe.
All the
Yeah.
corrugated
Yeah.
junk
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, it is. So can I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for, is there a number for, or just Scribner Hill?
Just,
Culvert,
just-
Scribner
just
Road.
All right, Scribner Hill, Scribner Road culvert.
DEP,
Yeah.
DP number.
DEP.
Oh, I see, okay, I didn't see it. DP number 309-1022.
Do I have a second?
A second on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next certificate of compliance, 499 Portage Hill Road, map 21, parcel 23-1B3, request for certificate of release, major stormwater management permit issued 4/10/2024.
So the commission issued a major stormwater permit for that auxiliary parking lot that the Tyngsborough Sports Center put in. So this is the as-built. I compared both the approved plan and the as-built, and everything was done per the plan. The only kind of minor changes is that the inlet and outlets for the catch basins were off a couple feet. And a few trees weren't planted, but Pam confirmed when they went before planning board to get the as-built approved, there just wasn't enough space to plant the 2 trees, so they didn't plant them. But everything else that they said they were gonna do was completed, and it looks good.
Yeah, I've been up a few times looking at it. They fenced it.
Yep.
He fenced around
The kiln.
The kiln, which, I didn't want to see that go away. That's,
Yep.
I just came from there. I coach youth soccer, so I spend 3 nights a week there. And the site looks great.
yeah.
They did a great job. I mean, everything's clean, it's great. There's no erosion. I mean, everything looks great there.
Awesome.
Really nice site.
Did you get any feedback from the neighbors? Because we got a lot of feed in the beginning.
Nope.
Right?
Surprisingly, we haven't heard anything from the neighbors, so it seems like they worked out, they came to an agreement with what was going on.
You gotta, you gotta give kudos to Daryl Wiggins
Yeah, oh, no,
for the
Yeah.
work that he did.
Yeah, definitely.
and it's a parking lot.
Yeah, he worked really hard to
Yeah.
make sure that it was
Yep.
well done, and he worked with the neighbors.
I mean, it's strange. We have projects come here, road work and stuff. They don't put curbs in. He did everything, every bit of it. And those builders come in and complain, well, you know how much it costs a foot for the curb? Part of the job. Yeah.
So can we get a motion?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to issue a certificate of release for 499 Potash Hill Road, major stormwater management.
Second on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. 501 Potash Hill Road, map 21, parcel 23-1B2. Request certificate release, major stormwater management permit issued 11/15/2023.
So this was the major stormwater permit, that was issued for that second part addition building, which just was for the building itself, and then, pretty much rearrange and extra parking on the other side with the, increase of the, detention basin. So again, I compared both the as-built plan to the approved plan. Everything seemed to match up fine. The only thing was that a couple of the catch basins and the outlets inputs were off a couple of feet, but all the other grading matched what was approved. So I would say that
That's fine.
it's fine in that, and again, planning board did already approve the as-built, so it met everything in their eyes as well.
Can I get a motion?
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to issue a certificate of release for 501 Potash Hill Road in reference to a major stormwater management permit that was issued November 15, 2023.
Second on that.
All in favor? Opposed? None. Next item, 440 Middlesex Road, map 11, parcel 5-1A. Request for partial certificate compliance, DEP number 3090939. Order and conditions issued 1/15/2020. Extension issued 10/8/2024.
So this is referencing the Dunkin' Donuts in Mac and Chews lot. When Sam Park and Associates originally came before the board, they wanted to redo all of 440, and they're currently in the process of doing it. But in the midst of everything, they decided to nix what they were doing with that lot and kind of just leave it as is. So we ended up selling off that lot. Due to the sale and the ongoing order of conditions that's on the property, the buyer would like a partial certificate of release so he can do the transaction of the sale of the parcel. And that will be separate from what Sam Park is doing at 440.
And that, they did an amazing job cleaning up the retention pond there and everything.
Yep, and the
That's the
original.
one that the water was right up to the transformer.
Yes.
Yeah, and the original plans and the original order conditions didn't have anything, like the parcel itself wasn't gonna change. They weren't gonna do any facade change, like what they're doing at the rest of the parcel. So they were kinda just leaving it as is, but when he applied it, he grouped it all as one parcel. So he wants to sell off that specific lot.
So I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to motion to grant a partial certificate of compliance, DEP number 309-0939, in regards to an order of conditions issued on 1/15/2020 and extended on 10/8/2024.
Do I have a second?
Second on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None.
You can regard the next one.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, violations, 17 Willowdale Ave.
So,
Good evening. State your name and address, please.
Donna Michelle Robotham.
So the reason I sent it is just because we noticed that one of the docks seemed to break off this winter, which it happens, I get it, and then it was just sitting on the beach, so, just normal, we don't want it sitting on the shoreline for longer than an extended period of time, just because it could be a hazard, and it is disrupting the shoreline activity, so, just hoping that you guys took time to pull it back up off the shoreline.
Yeah, my buddy came over this weekend, yanked it up onto the beach, and, well, I just had like hip surgery, so, I'm out for a couple more weeks, but it's
Okay.
been raining every weekend pretty much anyway, so but I'm hoping Memorial Day weekend, my stitches will be out and healed, and I'll be able to get in and put it back in.
Okay, yeah, because I guess that was my next question, is like what you guys planned on doing, if you guys
Well-
planned on replacing the whole thing, or just kinda,
Just
No,
the
I just
section.
put the section back, I'll
okay,
doctor it up and put it back, just tie the jet ski up anyway.
okay. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that it was taken care of, because I didn't want it to get into the beginning of the summer and it becoming a hazard for either the neighbors or anybody else boating in the area.
Well, that's technically why I yanked it in up to the beach, because I knew Ellen and Donna would be putting their dock in, and I don't want to smash
Oh.
into their dock, so
Yeah,
I yanked it over and tied it off.
okay, perfect.
So,
Yeah, other than that, we don't really have a problem, I just wanted to make sure it was done.
Yep, no, yeah,
So I have a question though, on number 4 on the letter, it says that we need to file a letter of intent. We already got permits for
we have
both
the
our
dock
docks?
permits to
So-
maintain them every year.
Yeah, so basically, because I didn't know what your intent was, if you were gonna remove it completely, or if you were gonna replace it, so I was just basically saying that if you guys, your future plans was to replace it with a new dock, that if you guys were gonna replace it, we would have wanted you guys to file for a new, order of conditions, but if you don't plan on doing that, then there's no worry about, that fourth section, so you
So,
guys don't.
I mean, obviously, not right this, not now we're gonna, but like when that wood one's done and it needs to be completely rebuilt, if, I'm probably gonna go to aluminum ones.
Right.
Do I have to
Yes,
Yeah.
you would have to redo it because technically that order of conditions was tied to that specific dock, so.
Okay.
Down the line, once it's really reached its end point and you guys wanna put the aluminum, you would have to get a new, filing for that new one.
Okay,
But, so just keep that in mind.
all right,
Okay.
perfect.
But other than that, yeah, that's about it.
Okay,
You,
all right.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, no problem.
next item on the agenda, enforcement orders, 23 Chestnut Road, and,
So, 23 Chestnut did file their, notice of intent, so the notice of intent is, and we'll see it at our meeting on the 27th, it is for the addition, which he spoke to us, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in November, he was thinking about doing an addition, so he's gonna move forward with that. And so it's for the addition and the removal of the boardwalk, so he's not gonna keep it, he's gonna remove it completely. So we'll see that filing before us, in a couple weeks.
next item on the agenda for enforcement orders, 7 Florence Way. Just state your name and address, please.
Carol Marshall, 7 Florence Way, Tyngsborough, Mass.
So I've been talking with Maureen. So Maureen went out on site today.
Yes.
Took some pictures of it that Pam can pull up, when she gets a chance. So Maureen's gonna come up with a restoration plan, of the site. A lot of the vegetation is coming up, which is good, and I figured that was gonna happen. And then basically Maureen couldn't be here tonight, but what she wanted is just what you guys would be looking for on the restoration plan, like what kind of, like, not necessarily, but like to the extent of what plantings do you guys want, if you want that plan to be, done by a professional engineer, if you want her to delineate it, so I kinda wanted to get a gist on what you guys would be looking for on a restoration plan that she plans to provide us by the next meeting.
It probably should be delineated just for us and you to have, so you know where your boundaries are for the wetlands. And I don't know, as far as plantings, I haven't walked it, so, I mean, besides wetland mixture, I mean, what do you think?
So, yeah, I was talking to Maureen, I was saying that, I think throwing down a wetland seed mix might help. Obviously, a lot of the plants are coming in. What
Yeah.
she was saying, that she's definitely gonna, remove the debris with the approval of the property owner, cause that part isn't technically on your property, so she was gonna reach out to the property owner and get approval to remove that debris, any other debris in the area, and then, she was just saying that if you guys want trees to be planted, trees, shrubs, but it was kinda up to you guys. She didn't really know what you guys were specifically looking for the restoration.
What was removed?
Some trees were cut down, that reached into the, BVW area, so there was some skid marks, not like extreme, but there were some skid marks and everything, so it wasn't super big disturbance, but then we also had the stockpile, so I was like, definitely have the stockpile removed.
So there was like ruts created by the
Oh,
wheels?
yeah, some ruts, not to the extent that it's like really bad, but
Gotcha.
enough that it did disturb the wetland area.
Minor disturbance.
Yep,
Yeah.
but
So
other than
that's
that,
debris from the trees being cut down? Is
Yeah.
that what that is?
yeah, some of the debris, yeah.
So, I mean, replanting, it has a ton of growth in there already. Do you
Is that her property or the neighbor's property?
This is her property, yeah.
have a property? I mean,
Is that bordering or wetland?
Wetland.
well,
Well, that part of it's probably in the buffer zone. If you like, if technically the way Maureen took it, if you like her back is
The wetland.
the wetland area.
I mean, there's look at the growth in there already. I would say
Yeah,
clean
that's the
it,
neighbor's property.
neighbors, will clean it up, and
Yeah,
I don't see a regrowth. To put new trees in there, I don't, from
No,
just looking at
just some
that.
wetland next to it, so control the erosion
Okay.
Yeah,
around it.
I mean,
really,
it's up to you
know.
guys, yeah, and like, the way Maureen was saying,
I
it's
haven't
really
walked it,
just.
so you've walked it, you would know
Yeah.
better. you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, when I walked it too, yeah, I was thinking of just throwing down some wetland seed mix to get the growth, to
Back up, yeah.
back up. I mean, I didn't necessarily think that, more trees needed to be planted.
No.
But I mean, again, it's up to you guys, it's
how
it's your
are
call.
they going to take out what's there now?
So when I was talking to Maureen, she probably assumed that they would probably have to have like a mini excavator come in and reach in and grab it.
Okay.
Cause she said it's pretty, this trunks are pretty heavy and it would be a lot for just man-made moving
Trying to move
power.
them by hand? Yeah.
But I assume she will, speak with you on that and you guys will come up with some plan and we'll see it, what they actually end up
What
doing.
about the neighbor for restoration of the trees they took down?
I mean, it's up to you guys if you want, if
Well, that's more-
on,
that'd
on
be-
his property, if you guys want as part of the restoration
I would
to
think
extend
that-
into his property, you guys can do that, we just need approval by the property owner, which Maureen
Yeah, well,
said she
that's-
planned on reaching out.
I think that's more, but probably between her and the property owner and Maureen to.
Yep.
decide if the guy wants the trees replanted, you know?
Yep, nope, that's definitely, that would be definitely between them two, and Maureen planned
Yeah.
to reach out to him, so.
So was there an issue with these trees? Were they dying, or what's going on? Why?
Well,
What
my
happened?
My husband passed away 7 years ago,
Yeah.
and I became a 2-year-old child. And as you can see, my home is all glass. It's very, very contemporary. So when the winds are like 40 miles an hour and swaying, I'm laying on the couch watching TV, petrified, because I have had trees come down, but luckily it hit the corner and didn't hit the glass or the skylights or anything. So that's the only reason why I was taking stuff
Yeah.
down that was closed,
Which we
that
don't
I
have a
knew
problem-
would hit the house.
We don't really have a problem with it at all, as long as you come in and file the director's determination beforehand. You know, whether it's a dead tree or hazard tree, we don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
You just have to come in, you know, with it, when it's within the buffer zone or the wetlands, you have to ask us. You know,
Okay.
It's a $25 permit.
yes, my husband handled everything. I didn't even have a plot plan or
Yeah.
whatever. I had to come by here and get one, so it's all new to me.
Is any issues with the neighbor? Well, we have to know. I mean, it's not just a decision for her, it's a
Yeah.
decision for the neighbor
Well,
too.
it's up to her and the neighbors whether if he wants restitution or what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would, and like Maureen said, she would work it.
Okay.
I guess you could answer that question.
Well, I mean, I wanna get me a goal, you know?
Yeah.
My backyard is my staycation, I have a nice pool back there, my kids, my grandkids, and
Yeah.
that provided a good degree of privacy.
Okay.
The foliage went with the foliage, winter is a whole different story, and the vegetation also as it grew in. And we've lost that, you know? In 33 years of living here, I never thought I had to babysit the back third of my property, especially because it was wetlands. And I just moved along, you know? I just kind of let it be and
Yeah.
do nothing with it, and I never in a million years, you know? And I'm not that neighbor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, no, thank you.
Marshall's, you know, worked hard over there and that sort of thing, and that's her property, and
Yeah,
it was my stuff that I pay taxes on.
Yeah.
And I maintain, it hurt, you know, it
Okay.
was a little bit of a sting, so.
Okay, well, when I talk to Maureen, and obviously Carol will also talk to Maureen, because you guys will work together on the plan that,
Yeah.
take into consideration what the neighbor would possibly want. I mean, even talk to him or whatever and figure it out, because I know that they're gonna have to, Maureen was telling me today that she's gonna write a letter asking permission to remove the stockpile anyways, because it's not on, Carol's property, but, so you guys can work it out, figure out what you guys want, and then we can just put it to the plan, and then we can review it, come the 27th, and go from there. But yeah, I just kinda wanted to get a feel of what the commission was thinking, what they wanted for out of the plan, because Maureen couldn't be here tonight, so
Right.
she wanted to
Okay.
kinda get a gist of what you guys were looking for.
Yeah, but, you know, as far as hers, that's wetland mix, but what he wants is between them, they decide what they want and then come back in front of us.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's why I asked about it.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
glad you
just
did.
We have to make it fair for both parties.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
Yeah, no, it's
Yep.
done right, yep.
Yeah.
But, okay, sounds good.
thank
So
you.
I'll
Very
probably, I'll be in contact with Maureen, and then we'll see hopefully get the,
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
get the plan ready to go for look at the 27th.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to ratify the issuance of the enforcement order that was issued by
Yep.
Ms. Brush.
Can we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
Opposed? No.
Thank you.
Thank you. So our next one is approval of minutes, April 22nd, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as written for April 22nd, 2025.
Do I have a second?
I'll second on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No.
Response.
Next item, new business. Topics the chairman did not reasonably anticipate would be discussed. Tyngsborough Land Library trout release. See photos on the screen.
So, this past off-season, so like the wintertime, Mass Wildlife has been reaching out to, library communities about, raising trout, and then they'll release them back in, so Tyngsborough Library was asked to do that.
We got a couple pictures.
Do the
These-
other-
these-
click on that one, see if it comes up, does it not come up? Oh, god damn it. So based on the photos that do come up, that, the library went and released them this past weekend in Lower Flint Pond, so I figured I'd let you guys know that.
Oh, that's
It's an awesome thing that Mass Wildlife is doing with the local library communities and getting the townspeople
Yep.
involved.
What is, when does this take place, or did this already take
Yeah,
place?
so last weekend it took place, yeah, so,
Flint's Pond.
yeah, so like right at the center of town by the gazebo, they released them. But yeah, so they'll grow them to that certain size, to help rejuvenate the trout population.
Did they say how many they released?
I did not ask Chance. I should have, I'm sorry.
Mainly because the state's coming in this week, and they're releasing trout at our pond.
Oh,
So
okay.
we have it for the Vets Day, and then Sunday's Children's Day, for the kids to come to fish
Nice.
at the Tyngsborough Sportsman Club.
This Sunday?
Yes, Saturday will be the veterans. Doug Latula handles all that, but we are getting a fresh batch.
Nice.
So that's private property?
Yes,
Do you need a fishing, do you need a
No.
No,
fishing
you
permit,
need-
a fishing license for that?
You need to be
a member,
a member or,
and you gotta
Have a-
get a fishing badge.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
badge.
But we do the thing for the veterans, which is a big deal. We have a dinner,
We do it sometimes.
Twice a year.
Twice a year, we usually do it, and the veterans come, we cook them breakfast, cook them dinner,
Yeah.
Nice.
and we measure the fish and, put the worm on the hook and everything.
They
It's
do-
usually,
the
it's usually,
kids-
it's the same group of guys usually every year.
Yeah,
They get to know you, they appreciate it.
It's-
And it's good, giving back to them.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
vets, just to let the audience know that the vets have always said, nobody
Oh, yeah.
does this for us.
No.
They love coming.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
It's
it's been-
touching.
It's been
Right?
good to do.
It's great.
Nice.
All right,
Thank
next
you,
new
Ed.
business. Triple Crown Estate Site Inspection Report.
So me and Ed went out about 2 weeks ago now. I put it in you guys' packets for you to review. But the reason I wanted to bring it up tonight not only because, the way that the subdivision looks currently, but, planning board talked to us about this last Thursday, right?
Yeah, May 1st.
So they talked about it on May 1st, and they also, I gave them a copy of the inspection report as well, so they kind of saw, that there were talks about pulling the bond on that Chris Shanahan put in. I wanted to get your feel on what you guys thought about that. The bond's not that much, and realistic compared to what has to be completed.
Yeah.
And, I mean, from conservation standpoint, I mean, the stream elevation clearly isn't correct. It's somehow dipping under,
It's not
and
even,
then
it's not even going through the culvert.
it's,
not?
no.
It's going along the side of the culvert, it's not even going through the culvert. So
So-
it seeked its natural path that it's always had.
Yep, so that's an issue, and then, back where they were supposed to do the wetland replication and the floodplain replication, so the wetland replication has been, I mean, it looks pretty good, it's there, but, I mean, I don't know about the floodplain replication. Based on the plans, I think it's supposed to be that whole site, and it's supposed to be level graded to whatever grade that they were supposed to do and planted, but right now, it's just a dirt swimming pool.
And also the culvert, the wall, has not been backfilled with stone or anything.
So,
And believe it or not, one big block, rocks when I walked on it. It moved a couple inches. And so it needs to be backfilled with the stone and fabric and the stone, and it needs to be capped. So,
So-
you know, and it doesn't have the skylight on it, on the conservation end. It's missing a few things, so the culvert's not up to par, period.
okay.
No.
And
So that drain cover is supposed to be like a grate of some sort?
Yes, it's supposed to.
It's supposed to basically be like a storm grate, but like in a circle.
Gotcha.
Supposed to, this culvert, Natural Heritage wanted sunlight through,
Yep.
for the,
Blanding's turtle.
landing turtles and everything to be able to cross. Then it needs to be lighted up through the tunnel,
Gotcha.
all right? And one of them has a piece of, steel plate over it. It doesn't even have a cover on it.
I see, I'm looking at that, yeah.
So why would we lift?
Well, so the planning board were talking about it, that they wanted to pull the bond, but, I mean, again, it is their decision, but if we all cohesively come together and decide what to do, we can.
I'd like the chairmans and the town engineer and Emily and, you know, and the highway department, us walk it
Yeah,
Is-
definitely.
together and discuss what we wanna do.
Where is the development in regards to their plan to finish? Are
All
the houses
are
done?
All the houses are done. The
Needs a
last
second
one they
coat.
put up, does not have any loom, it's just dirt, so it has no grass growing, but
Have they-
there's, go ahead.
Have they sold any lots yet? Is that-
Everything's
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
everything's
sold.
done.
Everything's
And
sold.
this is
So-
planned
so-
to be on a town-owned road?
Yes.
That's why it needs.
How are they
that's-
getting occupancy?
So they still have they technically still have an ongoing order of conditions, like the conditions haven't expired, so they were getting their building permits and everything, and they were putting the houses up, but within the last couple months, I mean, I haven't been out there recently until
Gotcha.
now, but it looks like as soon as they finished that last house and graded the backyard, they kinda just like,
Poof.
We're out of here.
Yeah, the
Two retention.
tail light warranty.
No,
Two retention ponds aren't draining either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's the building, I'm thinking about the Tyngsborough building permit, there is no input from conservation,
well,
right?
the-
So like, you know,
yes, technically, no, I
they'll
just say,
go over there and do their final inspection.
Yeah.
Sign off, and we could have like enforcement orders or open stuff. And there's a disconnect, in other words, between
That's why-
our orders and a building permit.
That's
Yeah.
why I want all the chairs and Emily and stuff the heads of department to walk it and discuss what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did.
Instead of bouncing back and forth between everybody.
Yeah, so I did send this to Chris and the engineer, which on our current records is Brian Maselli from Haley and Ward, and I haven't heard back, and I sent it out 2 weeks ago.
Because I'd rather get it over and done with and all be on the same board.
So,
Remember I said years ago that in the beginning, we need to have roundtable discussions before
always-
project starts,
I've always said it.
right? And now, here's an issue after.
yeah, well, and this is just from kind of conservation standpoint. I mean, there's a lot of stuff from planning board's perspective that have not been
Yeah.
completed either.
And, town council, spoke with, the town planner and, strongly advises against pulling the bond.
Thank you.
Because that's just, not to get
It
into.
wouldn't be enough money to
It wouldn't be enough
even,
to cover, it wouldn't even, probably wouldn't even cover fixing the culvert, grading it and capping it and everything. Not a lot of
But-
money.
Like we did on one project, we tied up house because it wasn't finished properly. Is that our option or is it the town's option?
We have to, like we said, we all have to,
Sit, look at it, okay.
that's why we discuss what we wanna do.
Yeah,
yeah.
And me and Emily talked about it before, and before,
I think
Because
that,
it's,
have all the boards together.
because it's
and look
not,
at
so like the
think
floodplain replication,
absolutely.
it's been half, like, everything's been half
Half done.
done. So it's not like they haven't disregarded, like, it's 50%
It would
there.
just be a development that we'd be left with, not up
So,
to par.
if I may,
Go ahead.
so, the town planner spoke with, council about, putting together, a strongly worded, letter from council regarding the planning board's component of the subdivision and what's required there. He could probably also include what you guys want on a conservation side.
Definitely.
So it's like a kind of a combined, letter to the developer to say, get your
Right.
act together.
So just say if they don't want to do it, does that give us the right to go to DEP with it?
Well, we would have
That
to,
would change the whole dynamic
so
of
I
this.
think we would, the only way we could go to DP with it is we would have to let the condition expire first. Because technically, right now, they have a valid order of conditions, so
Okay,
you have to give them that buffer of, they can still say, oh, we're gonna do it, we're gonna
Right.
do it, and you, in your gut, you know that's not gonna happen, but you can't, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah, yeah,
because
they're
it's still.
protected.
Right.
They're still
Yes.
protected.
okay. But at least that's our option after the fact.
Yes, we could, because if they don't, I mean, yes, it could be the option after the fact. Pretty much sums up what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying we should have,
Yeah.
definitely a walkthrough, and get together.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pammy, do you have any other input on this? Because you deal with the boards. I think that's important for us.
No, not at, I think they just, the planning board, they feel that the developer is not gonna respond to anything,
Ooh.
from them, and so they want town council to intervene. Whether it works or not, I guess we'll find
Find
out,
out.
See how it plays out.
it worked with, 147 Frost Road.
Okay.
yeah, so it's kinda just, we're still kinda in that beginning space, so I wanted to bring it before you guys, because planning board already saw, it, and I've been talking with Ben, and Jake, and they both went out on their own since when me and Ed walked, and have looked at the site on their own time. And they both agree, and Jake definitely agrees that,
There are a lot of negatives to pulling the bond, because now the town is on the hook for fixing everything that's
Everything,
gone
yes,
wrong up there. And
everything.
the residents have been calling, wondering what's going on and why isn't the road fixed and stuff, and we said that it's still under the developer's jurisdiction, you know? The town doesn't wanna be on the hook for finishing
Absolutely.
somebody else's mess,
Right.
Well, they shouldn't be,
right?
No,
Absolutely not.
bottom
They-
line.
They have to tie the approval of the occupancy to, they need to satisfy, I think, all the different, I just built a house in Drake, and literally, it has to go through every department before you can get occupancy. I mean, everyone, fire,
does.
conservation,
It
the tax
does.
collector, the water department, everybody needs to
Yeah.
And
bless it
does.
before they let you go off the hook.
Yeah, and it does, but it just so like, yeah, it's like, okay, so that lot's done per code of what the Conservation Commission wants, but it's like these other additional things that they promised us doing the subdivision that they haven't done yet.
That's required for the
Gotcha.
subdivision.
Yeah,
So it's not necessarily tacked on to each individual building permit,
no, yeah,
but it's the
overall,
overall project.
That's why we were, like, future ones, we'd rather have the detention ponds and everything all done first.
Yep.
And up to par, and not at the end of the development, because this is what always happens. Everybody runs out of money at the end.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or it's
oh,
done
yeah.
up front, you can see any headaches with it, what needs to be done for improvements. You know, because everything's great on a plan, but doesn't always work.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll talk with Ben and Jake. I mean, this was kind of already our plan anyways, but I wanted to run it by you guys.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't include the chairmans and it's just us department heads
Yep.
to go out and take a
That's
look, that's fine too. We can try to coordinate. But I did say in my email that I would have liked to schedule something the week of the 19th, but, I mean, Jake's not gonna be here, so it doesn't really matter, but he still just, I haven't heard, silence, radio silence. So, I think that we'll move forward from our department head side, keep the chairmans involved and kind of just slowly pick at it and try to figure out what the best, route is to get what we want.
Yep.
But just wanted to keep you guys informed.
That's good.
And then I have another thing for new business, that I forgot to add, so, Mass Electric Company in LEC, they sent a, project notification letter, so they are, replacing 500 feet of the railroad, which, and extends into Chelmsford, so it's a part of Middlesex Road, so 3A, that is on the Chelmsford line. They have to replace, let's see, I think some of the telephone poles, some of the railroad stuff, National Grid and electric stuff. But a portion of the project is technically in,
Tyngsborough.
well, it's in Tyngsborough, but it's also in our jurisdiction. But when they went out, obviously, as we know by the site, that it's all constructed and it's not actually within the resource area. So they just wanted to let me know. And it is under the Wetlands Protection Act, an exempt project because it's utility work. So, but they, again, like they've done for the Westford Road that they just finished up, they just want to let you guys know. So I wanted to bring it forward. Don't know timeline, whatever, when it's gonna get done, but if you guys are driving around town and see them doing electric work, that's why.
So we got a couple more things that are not on for new business. So as everybody's aware right now, your bunnies are being born, your foxes have been born, your fawns are being born. People, please don't touch them, all right? Unless you really see them on like day 2 or something,
Yeah.
that they're left alone. The parents leave the babies to get food and do their hunting and everything else for food, all right? That's nature, all right? You touch them, they won't go back to them.
We'll come back, yeah.
All right, you're really being detrimental to the wildlife. Please leave them alone. It's the easiest way to say it. It's like going grocery shopping. You don't always take your kids, do you? You know, it's kind of the same idea. Plain and simple.
My wife does grocery shopping. She purposely leaves the kids at home with me.
And then, right now is the best time for like knotweed and that stuff, to get rid of it, to cut it and brush the stems and everything, because it's young, it ain't seeded. So, and bittersweet, same thing, it's not flowered and buried. This is the perfect time, if you have any invasives in your yard, to tackle them. You know, and then our only other thing for new business is Hunt Norton property. We'll be out there Sunday, finishing the fence off. We got 500 feet of railing to put up. So if anybody wants to come by, you know, a resident or anything, we'll be out there.
Always could use extra helping hands.
And then old business, Trail Day highlights?
So Trail Day was me and Ed and this other older woman, Kathy, who did a great job helping us out. We cleaned about 5 miles of the trails, cut a lot of good trees out of the way. So Shady Glade looks really good right now.
And I was gonna bring my arborist saw, and I brought my next biggest saw, which is an 18-inch blade. It wasn't big enough to go through the blowdowns
Yeah.
that were over the trail. So, you know, we cut a lot of blowdowns up.
Yep.
And I still have to go back, because there's 2 streams that it's kind of blocking, and cut them back out and
Yep.
get them, but
How are you
we
guys moving it out of the way?
cut it in small enough
That's
pieces
it,
to
just
roll it, because
bucking it up and rolling
Yeah.
it
Yep.
out?
Yeah, we were just bucking
Yeah.
and rolling. He
Yeah.
was just sawing and I was just hauling shit out of the way.
there was there was a lot of blowdowns, big
Yep.
ones, you know.
And some big old ones too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the trails look really good. All the trail markers are still really intact, so they're labeled. It's not like we got lost or anything. But we do have to think about in the future, because some of the blowdowns, it kind of diverted some of the streams. And there's old beaver activity, so there's not any new recent ones, but a lot of the old beaver dams have kind of changed the flow of the stream. So we need to go back and kind of break those off a little bit, and get some new bridges put in. Not big ones, but just because the flow has changed over time, we have some wetter spots that used to not be wet, so gotta go back and,
And we'd prefer the streams to be more healthy and fresher flowing water, you know,
yeah.
than stagnant swampy water that really is just a mosquito magnet, and, you know.
Yeah, but the trail's in
Yeah.
amazing condition, like
Yeah.
literally amazing condition. We saw some deer in the morning. Yeah, no, it's really nice. I definitely recommend any resident to go out and take a walk. It's really pretty out there, quiet, peaceful.
There's a lot more to see out there than you realize.
Yeah, yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot how long the trails are and everything, but it's a good walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good day. We got a lot done.
Yep.
That's great.
And then just the last old business, me and Ed went out for the first year of growth for 222 Massapog Road, and it looks good. So all the growth that he put in has come back except the arborvitae,
Yeah.
but he already knows that. So he's gonna fix those up, but the trees seem to come back fine.
Yep.
And then he just has to put some ground cover on one of the slope sides, so.
Facing the neighbors.
Facing the neighbors that he showed in his landscape plan, so hopefully he gets that down. But we'll do next spring we'll go out and do that again.
Yep.
And then he'll be off the hook for that.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.